dozens of Taiwanese fishing boats, backed by at least 8 Taiwanese Coast Guard vessels, clashed with Japanese Coast Guard ships in waters near the disputed Diaoyu Senkaku Island September 25th. The confrontation, fought with water cannon by both sides, concluded with the eventual withdrawal of the Taiwanese ships. The clash highlights the complexity of regional maritime disputes, where sovereignty claims add another complication to the already difficult balance of relations, particularly for Taiwan. Taiwan's claims in the South and East China Seas parallel those of mainland China, as both assert, directly or indirectly, their rightful place as the legitimate government of Greater China. But for most of the last 60 years, neither were particularly vocal about regional maritime claims. Until the mid-1990s, a largely inward-looking Chinese government was far more concerned with internal stability and economic activity. Likewise, Taiwan's focus was more on maintaining its independence from mainland China, and picking fights with potential allies like Japan was not seen as a good idea. China's economic growth led to an awareness of the need to be able to protect vital shipping lanes, and a concern that the United States would try to constrain China in the way it did the Soviet Union. Chinese leaders launched broad military reforms, including significant cuts in the number of infantry, a greater focus on the integration of technology, and the expansion of the Air Force and Navy. This led China to more actively assert its long-standing sovereignty claims, including over Taiwan. But Chinese strong-arm tactics towards Taiwan repeatedly backfired, drawing in U.S. aircraft carrier support, helping to bring the pro-independence DPP into power. China in the past decade has modified its Taiwan policy, offering more economic cooperation, softening its rhetoric, and reducing the dollar diplomacy competition over diplomatic recognition. The less confrontational relationship with the mainland has given Taiwan the ability to focus on other aspects of its regional interests. And the assertion of Taiwanese sovereignty over the Diaoyu Senkaku Islands offers Taipei an ability to publicly stake its claim, something that may well appeal to Taiwanese nationalist sentiment, but also subtly reassert Taiwan's own sovereignty from mainland China. At the same time, Taiwan sees the risk of alienating Japan, as despite the warmer relations with Beijing, Taiwan remains cautious of China's ultimate design. Amid China's naval expansion, Japan, South Korea, and others have built out their navies as the post-Cold War environment broke down the bilateral regional structure that kept all attention on the bigger issue of East-West as opposed to intra-regional competition. Regional maritime disputes between and among China, Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, and several ASEAN states are symptomatic of this changing security construct. But while it allows for greater regional competition, it also leaves the countries able to utilize these disputes for domestic political purposes without the risk of spillover into a global confrontation. Taiwan cannot directly defend its maritime claims against China or Japan, and economically it is far more beholden to both countries than the other way around. Beijing looks at Taiwan as a disobedient province that will one day be reunified, and it gladly supports assertions of claims, especially when they conflict with Japan. At the same time, Taipei faces political pressures at home to assert a difference from China and its sovereignty in disputes with Japan, but all without doing too much harm to its relationship with Tokyo.